Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. A lot of you have been requesting me to make a video dedicated to calligraphy and to show you how I do my calligraphy and lettering and how I learned it, and to share with you all my tips and tricks about pens and how to get better at doing calligraphy. So I will try my best in this video to explain everything you need to know and to also show you my process since the beginning. So if you want to learn how to do calligraphy and to start practicing it, just keep on watching. Also, feel free to ask questions in the comments down below in case I forgot to cover something that you want to know. Before I start practicing calligraphy with you, I want to give you a little bit of motivation by showing you my calligraphy throughout the years so you can be more inspired. This was my calligraphy when I bought my first tumbled wool brush pens back in July 2017. I practiced a lot with them, and as you can see, my lettering was not pretty at all because I have never tried calligraphy before. Fast forward to July 2018 when I got my Tumblefoot and Oscape pens. My lettering was very strict and not flowy at all, which is something that I learned with time that it's something that looks better on calligraphy. And here are some of my cover pages done with tumbled wool brush pens. As you can see, I have been practicing and doing calligraphy for a long time, so I hope my evolution has inspired you. I'm going to also leave down below my flip through of the 2017 and 2018 bullet journals if you want to see my real evolution about bullet journal and calligraphy. So first things first, let's talk about pens. These are some of the pens that I find easier to do calligraphy with and that I'm going to show you in this video. I started my calligraphy journey with the tumbled wool brush pens. They are my favorite brush pens to use, and if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I love those pens to death. You also have the Crayola Super Tips. They are really cheap and good to practice your hand movements when doing calligraphy. The pentel footed touch pens are also really great, especially to do smaller calligraphy. I found them really great. And I'm also going to cover how to do fake calligraphy with fine liners. You don't need these exact pens to do calligraphy with, you just need pens where you can do thicker strokes and thinner strokes. So I think that the next thing to do is to try it. So grab a marker that you can do calligraphy with and let's practice. Here I'm showing you how I hold the pen. Everyone has a different way to hold the pen, so my tip is to hold the pen in an angle, not parallel to the paper. We will practice calligraphy in a bit, so I suggest you to try to do the exercises holding the pen in different ways so you can find what way works for you. Let's practice the thin strokes first. These are the lines you do when the pen goes up when writing the letters. In this exercise, you want to apply not a lot of pressure to the pen so you can have firm, thin strokes. I'm going to use a tumbled wool brush pen for the exercise. Try to do curved lines up and down so you can have confidence in the pen. If your hand is shaking or the lines are not straight, try to change the way you're holding the pen, but it can also be because your hand is not used to those movements. Now for the thicker strokes, these lines are the ones you do when the pen goes down on the letters. I can't tell you how much pressure you have to put on the pen when you do the strokes because it really depends on the pen you're using, and my advice is to add enough pressure for the lines to be thick, but not enough pressure that the pen stumbles on the paper when you're writing with it. You can damage the tip of the pen by doing that. Again, try to have confidence when doing the strokes and not apply too much pressure. Now you can try to mix both strokes. This exercise is good to help you learn when to change the pressure on the pen when doing the different strokes. This is essential for you to know when you need to start applying more pressure when starting the downstroke and where to stop applying pressure when doing the upstroke. I recommend doing this exercise several times before you move on to the actual letters, but if you feel more comfortable, you can try to write the alphabet to practice the hand movements, which is what you're going to do next. Let's try to write the alphabet. My way of writing the letters has changed a lot since I started, so don't be afraid to write the letters in different ways. Try to do different R's, different S's, different P's, different B's. This exercise is mainly for you to practice your lettering, to learn where to apply and stop applying the pressure when writing a word, and to build confidence while holding the pen. I think that you should know how your letters look like in order to put them together. So try to write the letters in different ways and see what you like and what works for you. I'm showing you the side angle of me holding the pen so you can have a better perception of how I hold it. One thing that you can see that I do a lot is I'm constantly rotating the pen. This prevents the tip of the pen to become damaged, so you are not always using the same side to do the strokes. Take your time when practicing calligraphy. I let this part in real time so you can see how slow I write the letters. The last thing to do is to try to write words using everything you just practiced. I'm using the different pens I mentioned earlier so you can see that my way of doing calligraphy changes when using different pens. I'm much more confident using the Tombow dual brush pens than when using the Crayola markers, and I have to be more delicate when using the pentel for the touch pens. I'm also not that good when doing fake calligraphy since I don't do it anymore. When doing the fake calligraphy, you just need to add another line on the side of the letters when you go down with the pen. It helps if you follow the way you wrote the word to know where to do the double line. So these were the basics of calligraphy. Now for a more advanced calligraphy, you can try to do the bouncy calligraphy, when the letters don't stay on the line and some of them are higher than the others. When I started my calligraphy journey, I couldn't understand how to do this, and one of the things that was a huge help was to make lines on the paper to create different baselines for the letters. Instead of keeping them squished inside the lines, I let them flow and be higher in some parts and going down over the line on others. If the exercise with the lines doesn't help you, I suggest you to see the word on the screen and to try to write it in your paper. By imitating and understanding where the person does the bounce effect on each letter, you can see how that applies to other letters. I recommend you to focus on the basic lettering and when you feel more comfortable to try the bounce effect. Alright, so for the last part of this video, I'm going to focus on the different effects that you can do on the letters. Lately, I have been doing a lot of different effects on my cover pages for my bullet journal, and some of you have been asking me how I do them and how do I know where to do the shadow on and everything. So I'm going to explain all of that now. First, I'm going to do the 3D effect. I will start by writing the word. I'm using the Muji 0.5 gel pen to outline the word. Do it slowly because it's really easy to mess this up. After the outline, you want to grab the same fine liner and do a double line on the right side of each stroke. This gives the word some dimension. I do this effect when the page is really plain and needs something to spice it up. Next, I'm going to do the drop shadow effect. For this exercise, I'm using a Crayola Super Tip. And first, you want to grab a fine liner or a gel pen and do the lines right next to the right side of the strokes. It's the same exercise as the 3D effect, but in this case, you are doing it on the letter, not on the side. If you prefer a thicker drop shadow, you can do it using a thicker marker, obviously, but I like to use the Tumblefoot and Osuke pens to do it. The last effect is the ombre effect. I'm using two markers to do the effect and then the same marker for you to see the difference. I'm first writing the word using the lighter color and then I'm going to use a darker shade to color in the bottom part of the word. I color in about 1/3 of the letters using the darker shade, and with the lighter shade I'm going over where the two colors meet to blend them. Be careful with the paper you are using because this can bleed through the other side of the paper. Now I'm doing the same effect but using the same pen. It's the same technique as the previous exercise, but the result at the end is less vibrant. I love doing this more subtle effect when I just need to add that tiny little extra detail to the letters. So this is the basics of how I do my calligraphy, some advice and tips for you to follow. I highly recommend you to practice calligraphy on a daily basis so you can get better, because you know that practice makes perfect. I hope this video has helped you with it, and if you need any extra information, leave it in the comments down below that I will answer it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!